At this time of giving and thanks, we're delighted to welcome you to the Milwaukee Youth Symphony Orchestra's annual gift to the community. We're delighted to be with you today in celebration of the hard work, dedication, and resilience of our young musicians through the power of music. While this year is truly unique and one which none of us have ever experienced, such challenges, frustrations, joys, and sorrows, we could not be more proud of our exceptional young musicians and families, led by extraordinarily dedicated music directors and supported by teaching artists, private teachers, school music directors, our board of directors, the community, and our administrative team. No one has ever had to play music in masks or socially distanced before. The learning curve has been high and one which everyone has achieved to great success. Today, we're exceedingly grateful for each of our students and families, our artistic and administrative teams, our board, and our community for supporting our mission to nurture, challenge, and inspire young minds through music, profoundly changing lives in our community for the better.
The study of music is a perfect vehicle for any person's life journey. For a young person, the love of one's instrument, its sound, getting to know important teachers and friends, and then, of course, the transformational experience of making music with other people. In addition, participation in music naturally creates one's need for discipline and rigor, and how both can result in something beautiful. Musically, this season is no different from any other in MYSO's long history, and its musicians have taken up a challenge to create something inspirational and beautiful. This year, many ensembles throughout MYSO have turned to one of the most important figures in music as the whole world celebrates the 250th anniversary of composer Ludwig van Beethoven's birth. Music would not be the same today if not for the foundation upon which Beethoven built all future classical composition. His devotion and discipline to his craft and his creative and passionate compositions influenced all those who came after him. We invite you now to be inspired by the Milwaukee Youth Symphony Orchestra in celebrating Beethoven and other composers throughout history. We respectfully ask that you consider making a tax-deductible gift to support our fabulous musicians and programs by texting MYSO, M-Y-S-O, to 243725, or you can donate online at myso.org. Thank you for watching.
Hello. My name is Jonathan Winkle, Music Director of the Metropolitan Symphony Orchestra. The Metropolitan Symphony Orchestra is comprised of some of the most advanced musicians in the MYSO program. Students hail from more than 50 schools in the region, study music privately, and participate in their school bands and orchestras. These young musicians have diligently prepared a program that primarily features music created during the first half of the 19th century by two of the finest composers who have ever lived, Beethoven and Mendelssohn. We are very grateful for this opportunity to perform for you. Enjoy.
Hi, my name is Oni, and I play viola in the Metropolitan Symphony Orchestra, Senior Symphony, and Chamber Orchestra. Currently, I play in the Metropolitan Mendelssohn Ensemble. This is my first year in MYSO. My favorite part about participating in MYSO is playing music and sharing that passion with peers of various backgrounds. I feel that this program really captures the cultural diversity among students here, further exemplifying that music is universal. MYSO allows me to be fully immersed in a musical world that is something not many are able to share. I'm very thankful for that. Today, you're going to hear two pieces played by the Metropolitan Symphony Orchestra Mendelssohn Ensemble. We've worked really hard on this music and are excited to share it with you. We will begin our performance with the Egmont Overture by Ludwig van Beethoven. This piece was a part of the music written to support a play about Count Egmont, a military and noble leader in the Spanish Netherlands. He was persecuted and ultimately executed for voicing his concern over what is known as the Spanish Inquisition. His death helped spur what eventually became the 80 Years' War, during the Netherlands sought freedom from Spanish rule. Some 200 years later, the Egmont Overture was composed in 1810 in Vienna, Austria, during an anxious period throughout the world experimenting with blend of governing structures, philosophies, and beliefs. Living in the late 1700s and part of the early 1800s, at the end of the Age of Reason, or the Enlightenment, Beethoven was clearly in line with philosophers who championed individual liberty and religious tolerance rather than the oppression at the hand of a dictator, monarch, or noble class. This, in a way, paralleled what Lamoureux and his countrymen experienced. In this play, Egmont, Beethoven's accompanying music provide a voice to the Count's struggle oppression and triumph over oppressors. In this overture, Beethoven lets us experience this tension, then brings us into the action, which bravery in face of oppression. He writes music in which we can hear the Spanish influence of 3/4 meter, the execution of the Count, his funeral, and finally, triumphantly heroic music for those who rose up against injustice and oppression. This piece is fairly short, yet powerful, and has been used by many to provide hope and strength to endure. Our final work this afternoon is a piece written to celebrate the life and teaching of Martin Luther and the movement known as the Reformation. The teaching of Martin Luther and beliefs of the Lutheran Church are stated in a document called the Augsburg Confession, written in 1530 in an effort to reunify the Church, 300 years after this event, and where we connect all this with musical composer Felix Mendelssohn. Mendelssohn was approached to write music for a ceremony to be held in 1830, celebrating the 300th anniversary of the writing of the Augsburg Confession. In this symphony, to honor Luther, Mendelssohn included two themes. In the first movement, Mendelssohn used what's known as the Dretzen Amen. It's a serene sequence of rising chords used throughout Germany at the time. In the fourth and final movement, Mendelssohn uses the hymn Elin Fitzberg and Unsern Gott, a mighty fortress is our God, which Martin Luther penned himself while the Augsburg Confession was being created. Mendelssohn's treatment of Luther's hymn is beautiful, with a choral statement at the beginning of the fourth movement, fugato and other classical structure in the body, and a glorious restatement at the end. The hymn's text and the music is a celebration proclaiming God's grace and protection over each of us. Thank you for viewing this performance by the MYSO Metropolitan Symphony Orchestra. We hope you enjoy our concert and wish you the very best always.